Hello BookTube, this is David, and I'm back with my next video. I want to keep this kind of short and sweet. I had a couple of ideas I was kicking around on what to do with this one. Ultimately, I decided I'm going to put the lengthy list of books down into the description uh, and do that instead of talking about each one individually because that's going to become a very long video. So, what I basically wanted to share is that I discovered a little thing over on Reddit called speculative fiction bingo. And this was found thanks to the Literature Science Alliance, that is Angela over there. She made a video this month where she talked about the books that she chose and some recommendations for each category, uh, which is a really wonderful video. I'll be sure to link that down in my description. But basically, it ended up with coming up with a whole bunch of books. And the concept behind this is there's the 25 squares of the bingo card, and each square has its own category, such as set in Asia, or Gothic fantasy, or having a first contact, things like that. And so there's a lot of room to really expand. And one of the other concepts of it was to pick books that are by different authors for each square to avoid picking books that you've already read. So this is my opportunity to really branch back out, explore a lot more in the realm of science fiction and fantasy, which is something that I've been wanting to do. I tend to either retreat into comfort zones such as Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, Brandon Sanderson for somebody that is still actively writing. And so this is an opportunity for me to really branch out and get to some of the books that have been high on my I need to read this someday list. And so I'm going to just talk about a couple of the books that are on there and a little bit why on each of them, and talk about some of the other exciting things that I'm super pumped about that are coming up. I've got a couple of different reads that I'm going to be doing here shortly to keep up with other things that are going on in BookTube. So right now I'm in the middle of reading Perelandra, which is one of the books on my bingo square, and that's because I found some ladies who are doing a read through of the Space Trilogy. I discovered it right after they had finished out The Silent Planet, which is one that I had read just last year. So this is my opportunity to jump in, read Perelandra, and be able to finally get around to finishing this trilogy of books by C.S. Lewis. So the ladies that are doing this reading through, it's a musical bookworm, so Victoria over there. We've got Christy Lewis, also Dostoevsky in Space, which I absolutely love that name. Her PNWWA life, so I'm assuming Pacific Northwest Washington life. Amanda from there, and then Summer from Summer's Moving Bookshelf. They've got a chat where they talk about the first book for a pretty good lengthy discussion, and they're going to be doing the discussion on Perelandra, I believe, on May 1st. So I've got a little bit of time left. I'm almost halfway through that book, and I'm looking forward to their discussion and then rolling that into reading the last book in that trilogy. The next book I want to talk about is The Poppy War. So this is a book that I wanted to put into the Set in Asia square. I ended up not putting it in there. Found at the last minute that it fit in a different square, so I was happy to tag that back in, knowing nothing about it going into it. I didn't even know it was kind of a booktube darling, so to speak, but it seems like a lot of booktubes already read this, and I found that Steve Talks About Books is going to be having a reading through that trilogy, which is going to kick off late in May, also with For Booking Out Loud, so Liz over there. And so I've started following both of them. I'm excited to see what they do with that, and I'm going to be joining them as much as I can. We'll see if I can keep up while also trying to get through Perelandra. The last book I really want to talk about, it's another reading that I'm going to be doing with people. This one's not on my bingo card, but I am going to be reading Richard II, so the Shakespearean play. I'm reading along with Margaret Pinard on that because she had a video where she was celebrating Shakespeare's Day, and she had a pile of books that she still needed to read from Shakespeare, and she was asking for recommendations, and she ended up picking Richard II as the one she was going to read, so I'm going to read that along with her because I enjoyed Richard II. It's a good play. I want to dive back into it, and I'm always happy to read more Shakespeare. So be sure to check out down in the description below. You'll be able to see what I have for all 25 of these there. I'll have a link to an Amazon wish list, which contains all of the ones I don't have. I'll also link to a Goodreads shelf where you can gain access to all of the books that are on this bingo square and be able to see what 25 books I'm reading, my progress along them. I will also mention that one of the books, Red Rising, I'm over halfway through right now. I've been listening to that. I downloaded that and started listening to it just about the same time as I found this bingo card. So I'm super excited to get through that. I'm enjoying it immensely. After a somewhat slow start for the first couple chapters, it really just took off, and I can't wait to start driving back to work to be able to listen to it more, and then drive back home later this afternoon to listen to it even more. It's been an enjoyable ride. So that's all. I just wanted to have a quick video, get something else out there without taking up a whole bunch of time. I done a couple of tries to talk about all of these. It was going to be an obscenely long amount of time. So check out the list of everything I'm going to be reading and let me know what ones should I read first after I get through the couple that I've got on there. There are some mainstay staples, The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams, there's The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, there's The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie, there's Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. Lots of staples in the genre that I have not read before. So let me know what I should prioritize, what I should try to find to add to my bookshelf to be able to start reading, because over the weekend I picked up a couple of them, The Song of Achilles and Children of Time. So I've got those sitting on my shelf ready to start reading. But yeah, let me know what I should be checking out next and why. Why are you excited about the book that I should be reading? What am I able to look forward to on this reading journey that I'm going to undertake between now and the end of March next year?